Hello people, welcome back to another episode of Twitter is Terrible. Today, some people on Twitter went after Technoblade for some tweets he made about 4 to 5 years ago, and they just took it way too far this time. Usually, we'll see a bit of an overreaction on stuff like this. However, today, what happened here was just too much, and I mean too much, and it should just never be done, ever, or at least during situations like this. I'm really against people doing stuff like this for something as small as what Technoblade did. We'll be covering all the details in this video. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe so you can always stay updated on the internet's stupidity, and let's just get right into it. So this whole entire situation stemmed from some old tweets that Technoblade put out. There may be more, but the main two that I found are the ones I'm going to read for you guys. The first one he said is #AskPewds, do you have any constructive criticism for not Germany? And then he had another tweet where he said was hit a lesbian. Now these tweets were from January 2017. I don't actually know where the other one was from. I'm guessing it was around the same time, early 2017, which was about 5 years ago. And people were upset about this tweet. Some people were, offended over it. And a lot of people were not very happy with the tweets that Technoblade put out. And I've seen these tweets resurface a lot on Twitter. There'll be like a wave where these two tweets come out and people try to cancel Technoblade for them. It happens every now and then. People continuously do it, but this time, whenever they did it, something really bad came out of it. So let me get this straight. Some burner account pulled out insensitive, since deleted remarks from his past. You all tried pressuring him, then dogpiling on him to address it. When he joined his friend's MC server, you harassed and doxed him, and then migrated to Karl Twitter. So not only were people trying to cancel Technoblade over tweets from 5 years ago that were tweeted out as jokes, at least to Technoblade, people were doxing Technoblade over these tweets. And I'm sure a lot of you guys do know what doxing is, but for those few people out there who don't know what it is, basically doxing is whenever you find all of somebody's private information, such as their address, their phone number, passwords, usernames, all that kind of stuff, their mom, all their family's phone numbers and their addresses, just any private information that they obviously wouldn't want people to know. Whenever somebody doxes somebody, they find all that information out, and usually they'll make it public for anybody to see. And for someone to do this over literally some tweets on Twitter that they didn't like is so ridiculous to me. That is not okay at all. That person who doxed people should not be seen as a hero to anybody. And I know some people are like, wow, thank you so much for doxing this terrible person. Like, no, you keep people's private information private unless they do something absolutely terrible. And even then, you really shouldn't take that into your own hands, unless you're, trying to call the cops on them or something. But other than that, like, I really just don't think people should do stuff like this. Unless you're trying to keep yourself safe from something is, the only time I can see this is ever okay. And even then, I don't know. You will make me sick. The idea that you can justify this with your screwed up and twisted sense of justice as if you haven't made the situation 20 times worse is absolutely baffling to me. So these people, found Technoblade's address and, all his private information, and they called that justice. I'm sorry, but just because somebody tweeted insensitive tweets, which, I mean, sure, he shouldn't have tweeted those. Probably not the best idea for him to do that, but you can't dox somebody and find their private information just because of some insensitive tweets. That's not justice whatsoever. What are you saving? Are you keeping people safe from finding Technoblade's address and putting it on the internet? No, that's not helping with anything at all. Like this person said in their tweet, you're just making the situation 20 times worse. Like you're literally adding to the problems here, and that is not okay at all. The fact that you are all calling him a racist, lesbophobe, and an anti-Semite over remarks were insensitive at worst makes me want to tear out my hair. This entire thing has blown beyond proportion. It's ridiculous. And I don't know how people get that out of, these two tweets here. He was making jokes back in 2017 whenever stuff like that was, more acceptable. Edgy jokes were a thing of the past, all right? Like everybody would make edgy jokes. It was completely normal. it doesn't look good at all. It really just doesn't look good, but it was a normal thing to do. I mean, Technoblade has stopped doing it since, you know, it's no longer okay, and I'm sure he knows why that kind of stuff is not okay, and he doesn't make those kind of jokes anymore. But for you to draw all those conclusions about him and him currently, you know, this was many years ago, is just ridiculous. And still the doxing thing, I just cannot believe that people were literally doxing him over this. That is literally I can't comprehend that at all. I don't care how mean or rude somebody's tweet is to you, you cannot go and find their address and post it in public. That is their private stuff. At least care for somebody's well-being. You're putting that dude's life at risk. Technoblade is a huge YouTuber, he's famous. You never know what kind of people watch Technoblade. There might be a crazy person who goes to Technoblade's house and who knows what they'll do to him. Like, you're putting his life at danger by doing that, and that is not okay whatsoever. I have no amount of support for that at all. I mean, obviously, but like, the fact that people do this, it needs to stop, seriously. Save your outrage for people who actually deserve it. It's clear as day that Technoblade is not a hateful person nor a bigot. You are doing nothing but bringing up and weaponizing hurtful things that should have been left in the past. There is nothing noble about this anymore. You are all toxic hive mind of people doing stupid shit out of fear of getting canceled yourselves. Words cannot explain how much I despise this about Twitter. And you know, all of Twitter isn't like this, but there is a large group of people who act like this, and they just ruin it for everyone. Honestly, all these toxic people just literally, it makes it unusable. I honestly can't stand it. And this person finishes off their thread by saying, so if you've harassed or dogpiled or doxed him in the slightest, block me. If you cannot stand the sight of him for some sorry reason, block me. I will continue being a Technoblade fan, and I'm fed up with you all. So to sum all that up, yes, Technoblade's tweets were not the best, alright? They didn't look good. They were years ago, alright? I believe that we should judge people for how they are today, not how they were for 5 years ago, and, you know, I live by that, unless, you know, they did something, like, really, really bad, not something like this. And doxing is not an answer for any situation like this whatsoever. Keep people's private information private. With that all being said and done, that is enough stupid for me today. Huge shout out to all my channel members listed down below in the description, as well as the names you see up on the screen, especially Ace Woman and Names Thunder for being in the Patrick tier, and Sir Toad for being in the SpongeBob tier. Thank you guys so much for your support. You're very epic. If you guys do want to see some more stupid, there is plenty more to be seen. Just click one of the thingies up on the screen. Also, if you actually do want some real free stuff, be sure to join my Discord server. It's going to be linked in the pinned comments down below. And, yeah. Bye.